Okay, so this is the second part of the video at the end of the where they do a debate for sheriffs in my county, uh, in Clanahan County. Okay, so I got a couple of problems on this. All right, so number one, they did not want to have we the people ask some questions at the end. And I asked before this got started a couple of days ago, do we get to ask questions? We the people get to ask questions. And they said yes. But apparently these two gentlemen didn't really want to answer any questions at the debate. So I do have a problem with that, since I'm going to vote for them. And I'm going to have to, go buy a radio station, apparently here in internet radio station, apparently in town here. So everything had to go by his questions and not we the people's. Some of y'all already know how I feel about the Constitution and all that. So, problem one. When it first began until it ended, it was always about following the law. But they never brought up any of the Constitution, nor the radio station, nor the people who was running for sheriffs. Okay? So the problem I have with that is, we the people did not get to ask the Constitution questions, which some of y'all already know. That's who I am. From what I'm gathering, both of them hesitated on whether it's a living document or a stable document. Well, I'm going to call it stable, okay? Just because years went by and things added and all that kind of stuff, everything that's come up in any type of laws and regulations and all that, it's because the government is taking too much power. And now they're, just like we the people, are confused about the Constitution because we do not study it. And therefore, the officers are running is going by policies and codes enforcement. All right? They're not really actually going by the full text of the Constitution. So that is my main problem right here, right now. They're kind of leaning towards living document. It's a hard question, And when you really study the Constitution deeply, you also actually understand that it is cop-out to get to do what they want to do and pass things that they want to pass. And we, the people, has been foolish enough, not by studying the Constitution, that they got all this authority they technically do not have because we don't study it. And some of these enforcement officers, sheriffs, police officers and all that, well, that's what they do, is they mostly go by enforcement laws, just regular everyday laws, instead of, let's go for one, okay? Everybody knows about the seatbelt thing. I hate the seatbelt law. I am not causing any harm to anybody. It's my business, my body, my property. So the government has no say whatsoever what I should or should not do on that. But towards their outlook is because it's a living document, they get to twist the Constitution to fit their agenda and give me a ticket. Now, some people don't look at it that way, and some officers don't look at it that way. But that's not the deal. The deal is when they started doing all this kind of stuff, is to twist it and to change the Constitution and be able to inline the pocketbooks of the government. So I have a hard time deciding which is which one I should vote for and which one I shouldn't. And, well, some of y'all would say, well, don't vote for either one. Why would you vote for your captors to put you in jail or prison and all that? Well, you vote to try to find the best candidate to weed out. And the person in office then you can kind of slowly stand your ground a little bit and try to maybe work on the person. Well, if they don't proceed forward in the next 4 years, then you can call them out again and say, hey, I voted for you 4 years ago. I have not seen no change in you. So I guess it's time for a new official to walk in this office. And this is the reason why we, the people, we need to stand there and look at them. And I let it slide. You can be able to see in the video. I let it slide a little bit, but I did bring up how come we the people did not get to ask any questions. So, but I didn't really push anything because I wanted to see what was in their mindset. I did not want to challenge them. I brought up my opinion a little bit. They brought up their opinion a little bit. But I did not want to challenge them because I just wanted to see what their mindset is. And with the video I'm going to show out to y'all, I had to watch it a couple of times and really dig deep. The number one thing you need to do is make sure you perfectly understand what is said and done in this. You know, it may take 3 or 4 times to hearing it to really pinpoint the accuracy of everything, okay? One of the guys says, you know, he wears shoes so he could chase people. Well, the other guy wears boots because he's out in cow pastures and mesquite trees and stickers and all that. And there is such things as work boots. I ran in boots. And if you get the right soles on the bottom, you can run in them. And, you know, boots are, nowadays, it's not like the boots back in, you know, the 1800s. So there is boots out there you can run. Maybe it's a little heavier and all that, but, you know, for like me, 50 years old, you know, boots or shoes, it's not going to make a whole lot of difference to me. I'm 50 years old. It's going to slow me down no matter what if I run. So, you know, age has got to be a category in there. But I'm kind of torn. You know, they both had their qualities, the way they think it should be run. What's going to be best for my freedom of the United States of America. The United States of America. Not United States. Not the United States, but the United States. So yeah, this is where I'm standing right now. I'm just kind of torn. And again, not enough people, you know, we the people got to ask any questions. And I kept my mouth shut towards the end because I was under the presumptions, what cops normally do, presumptions, that I was going to get to ask questions at the end. So I'm a little pissy about that. You know, I get to ask questions, then turn around and they decide they're not going to take any questions. I'm voting for them. They should take questions from me. That's not okay. Period. I understand time's going to last a little longer, but if you want people to vote for you, at least understand where the people's coming from and maybe learn something and progress from there. You know, but I don't know how many people in there. Is a pretty good crowd. I don't know how many people in there actually knows the Constitution and studied the Constitution or anything like that. So I did walk around and talk to a couple of the people who was running. And when you hear this, y'all decide one way or the other. Because I'm stuck. Both of them has their points of view. And it's all by legalese and not Constitution. So from what I'm gathering, it was a hesitation of a living document and a stand-up document, you know, that our ancestors provided us. And, you know, some of y'all out there believe it's a living document. Well, a living document, it's a contract, which Constitution is contract, okay? It's actually a contract. So basically what the Constitution is, for instance, I filled out a contract to buy a house. Well, a living contract would mean they get to just change the rules halfway through there and keep your signature on there and give you a whole different set of rules later on. Now, that being said, I'm pretty sure that's happened. But renting a house, it's contract law. So you signed this contract, then all of a sudden, they decided to change half the rules after a couple of weeks. Well, we're going to do this instead. And then the courts say, well, you decide this and decide that. So what they're basically saying is that the Constitution is a living contract which they can change. That's a living contract. Changing the contract in the middle of it. Okay? So, yeah, the Constitution is not living. That means they can change it. Hopefully that gives you insight what the living contract is with the Constitution and what's, basic. I'm going to just make it simple. Stable Constitution. Every word has a purpose in there. So, yeah, I'm stuck. I'm going to have to listen to it a few times. You guys check out the video and see what you guys think, what direction to go. I had to vote for one of them because in order to weed out the bad, you have to make sure everybody in there is going to be serious. So every 4 years, there could be a change or it could be the same person. But, again, if I brought these things up and they don't do any changes, 4 years later, they come back and want me to vote for them back in. Well, why would I want to do that if you haven't changed? So anyway, it's a lot to think about, and the part really irritates me more than anything else. They didn't want to take questions from we the people that's voting for them, and everybody in there should be pretty well upset about that one. I don't think anybody really was, but I was. I kind of, you heard the video. Anyway, y'all out there, just because you get a couple of bad apples or, one bad apple, don't mean not to vote. It just means the next time you go in there and say, hey, you haven't changed nothing, so it's time for you to leave. Or, hey, you improved. All right, you actually started studying. Now, they're busy. Okay, all officers are busy. But, I enjoy my freedom of being in the United States way too much to be England, Scotland, Mexico, Canada, even though all our laws that we go by is England. Okay? Everything you go by, if you look up all the laws in England, it's the exact same thing we have here. So really, we basically live in England right now. I don't really have a whole lot to say. I'm dumbfounded because, I didn't get to stand up and actually get to speak out in front of everybody. Instead, I had to kind of move around and try to put them basically in a quarter. But for some of y'all out there, kind of take a gander at it and see what you would decide. I'm kind of curious to hear from you, what you think. Because I'm up in the air. They both had their point of views, their different point of views. Did I expect them to have the same point of views as me? No, I didn't. I did expect them to actually know a little bit more of the Constitution, but once again, I didn't go deep in them. I don't know how much they actually really know of it. But from what I'm gathering, they're more going along the lines of laws and not the Constitution. It started off that way, period. And not one single time was Constitution brought up, which part of that was the radio host that talked to him. So, he had some pretty good questions, but again, we need officers of deals that really, really needs to know the Constitution. And really understand that the Constitution is a contract to keep we, the people, safe from government. And when you study the Constitution, more you realize that it's there to protect us from the government. All right, I appreciate you guys hanging out with this, and kind of look forward to your comment. Y'all have a good night, and Happy New Year's to y'all. May 2020 be a blessing in disguise, and a blessing to all y'all. Good night.